Hello, Jen here, and I have an off-the-board layout for you guys. So I'm showing it to you right there, and you can see it in that top left-hand corner. Let's see, what have I done so far in this series? I have done some mixed media. I made those mixed media tags. Then I did a quote because I am a quote hoarder. I bet you guys all are too. And then the other thing that I hoard a lot when it comes to scrapbooking and Pinterest is other people's layouts. I feel like I do really love sketches and I'm pulled towards sketches a lot, but I kind of like seeing the real thing. So Pinterest is a great way to just collect all of those layouts that really catch your attention and the ones that you fall in love with, and then you kind of have them all in one place. So I decided for this week that's really what I wanted to focus on, because I have a lot of them. So if you're new to this series, this is a series that Crystal from Pineapple Papers is doing, and she's linked down below. She is bringing you an entire month of Pinterest inspired projects. So she's doing some scrap lifting and some sketches and different techniques and some DIY stuff, some home decor projects, that type of thing. Just going through her Pinterest boards and finding what there is there, because we're all the same. She's got, all these pins just sitting there doing nothing, and I know we all do too. So she's doing it for the full month. And then there are a few of us that are popping in here and there just to join in on some of the fun. So this is my third one. And you guys know, if you follow my channel, that I have a love-hate relationship with white space. And so if you look at my Pinterest boards, you will notice I have a lot of layouts that I seem to be drawn to that have really good uses of white space, and this is one of them. There is some really fun pops of color. There's a lot of detail, a lot of interest, a lot of pattern, and a lot of white space. So, of course, my boards are all linked down below too, and you can check it out and see if you have the same layouts also pinned to your board, because I think that that's fun when we've all got a ton of the same ones pinned. But yeah, that's really something that I struggle with. I get the white space, and then I want to add to it and keep adding to it. So I really like that this kind of challenged me to stick to something. And I'm following it almost exactly. So I started by pulling out my floral collection from Wild Whisper, because it just has all these super fun, beautiful floral patterns. Basically what they did is they took all the different florals that they've designed for other collections and put them all together into one big floral collection. So you have tons to choose from, different feels to the paper. Some of them are a little more photorealistic, some of them are very super sketchy, some are sort of more watercolored, some are more artistic or hand-drawn. Just they're beautiful, and they're all different colors, but they all really go well together. And so I knew that I could pick from each paper, and all of the patterns would be really fun and unique, but all of the colors match. And I'm still working on these photos of my daughter's grade 6 graduation. So it's been a couple of years, but her dress is this beautiful mint color with lots of flowers on it. And so this just was perfect. It worked out exactly the way I hoped it would. And then the other bonus is the floral collection comes with a beautiful stamp set. So it actually comes with 2 stamp sets. It comes with a full stamp set here that you can see, this 4x6 stamp set, and then it comes with a little kind of palm leaf or frond, just an individual stamp on its own, which is also beautiful and nice and big and so much fun to color or watercolor, that kind of thing. But I really wanted to have these stamps that matched, because you can see how much fun that stamping detail is around the photo in the original. And I think I forgot to mention to you, the original comes from scrapbook.com. That's where I pinned it from. But the lady that actually created that layout, her name is Diane Payne. And it says that she created this back in 2016. So it's been around for a while. And when you actually go and click on this photo in Pinterest and then you scroll down a little bit, it always gives you other examples that people have pinned, that like people who have pinned this have also pinned these, or other layouts that might be in the same pin boards and stuff like that. And there are quite a few of them that all have this same feeling of white space around it with these beautiful bright colors. So I'm going to go ahead, and you saw I just marked just roughly where the photo was going to be, and then now I'm just going to build some stamping clusters. This stamp set has so many different things to pick from. It has really, really big florals, it has smaller scale little rosettes, and then it has all these cute little branches and leaves and stuff like that. So I'm not trying to be too specific. I just want to have flowers kind of coming out in all different ways and just build the stamping around where the photo is going to be. I showed you at the beginning that I'm listening to Real Crime, which is an Audible original, while I was doing this, and you can see I made a mistake. So while my show ended, or the episode ended, and I picked up my stamp and then realized that I hadn't actually stamped it properly, and so I stuck it back down. So distracted stamping is not recommended because it kind of gave that ghosting effect, and so now I'm just using my pen to fill in some of those double lines to make it feel a little bit more like it's just solid thick lines instead of me making a mistake. But I have to say, I am super obsessed with true crime right now. I'm listening to that Audible original, which I actually think is free. So if you have Audible, you should go in there and click on it. I don't think I paid for it, and it's just, how many episodes are there? Let me see if I can pull it up and tell you. I'm on episode 6, and there are, it doesn't want to tell me. Why doesn't it want to tell me? Anyways, I think there's quite a few. There might be 10 or 12 episodes, and they're just 20 to 30 minutes long, each one of them, and they quickly go through a case. Most of them are British, or at least from the UK. But they kind of go through cases that have either some sort of unique situation to them, maybe a unique way of solving the case, something unique about the criminal, or just a case that captured the nation's attention. In one, it was a nanny who was accused of shaking a baby in the United States, so that was kind of like a cross-border, cross-ocean scandal kind of thing. So I love that kind of stuff. I can't get enough of it. I read true crime. I watch true crime. I've been watching the confession tapes on Netflix, and I'm just loving those. I wanted to get into forensics when I was in university, and I ended up going into psychology, but for a long time I followed that forensics path. So now I just can't get it out of my system. Anyways, that was probably more than you wanted to know, but I bet some of you are also obsessed right now too, because I know it's super popular and it's a bit of a craze. So, what have I done while I was chatting about about Audible and true crime? I colored in that stamping. So in Diane's original layout, you can see, I think actually what she had was a stamp that might have had the solid stamp and then the outline as well. And I think so it gives that look of having been colored in, but not quite perfectly. And so I kind of achieved that by using my watercolors. And I did really, really simple watercoloring. So just a little bit of greens, and you can see there I kind of mixed some of my green with some blue and got a few different shades, but I tried to stay within the colors that were in this collection and also that are in her dress. So those big roses, I went for more of the purples and the kind of burgundy instead of like a true bright red or anything like that, because that matched Kaylin's dress a little bit better. So once I had that all colored and dried, I popped up my photo, stuck that into the middle, and then I added 2 flare from the floral collection to the border at the top and bottom. And I used a couple of the puffy stickers from that All Heart collection. There's these teeny tiny little flowers in that collection, or in the puffy sticker sheet, that are super cute, and they worked really well. And so I threw those on there. And then I have the ephemera pack from the floral collection, and you can see I went through that whole pack, and I really had to resist the temptation to create these big, beautiful embellishment clusters with all of those flowers, but eventually I did. I had a lot more pulled out than I actually ended up using, because I had to remind myself that the reason I liked this design so much is all of that white space. So I maintained the white space. I didn't want to cover up all of that stamping. I just picked out a few little flowers and some leaves and stuff that you can see I put on the picture, and then a couple just to decorate one of the circles on the top and bottom. And that's kind of it for the embellishment. So the last thing I'm going to do here is just add some sequins. And this is from one of the exclusive sequin packs that come with a Wild Whisper collection. And they're made by KaezMum Scraps. So I pulled out some, and I'm kind of doing tone on tone. So they don't really stand out too much, but they just give that little bit of kind of glimmer and shine, because I'm not doing... I can't be sure, but I think that Diane did some heat embossing with some gold, and so around her photo she has this little bit of gold and shimmer, and since I didn't do any of that, I wanted to have my own version of shimmer, which usually means sequins. So once all of those are down, I set that aside to dry, and now I'm going to work on my little journaling strips. So true to me, instead of pulling out, well, I don't own a typewriter, so instead of pulling out my laptop and typing these up and then printing it out, I'm just going to journal with my Micron pen and then cut this into strips. And I'm not going to do a title. That's the one place that I really diverged from the original layout. I just didn't have a title that I felt I wanted to use for this layout, because it's one of a few of them, so I don't really need it to have a title. I didn't even really need it to have journaling, but I went ahead and put some journaling on there. And I feel like the school name kind of stands out the same way that Diane's title stands out, so I feel like that's good enough. Plus, she used a tiny picture, like maybe a 3x3, and I am using a full 4x6, so there wasn't as much room to create a big, nice white title. But I do love that. I love that tone-on-tone white. So that will definitely happen on another layout for me, for sure. So I just journaled and then cut my strips. And since my journaling is handwritten and kind of wonky, I didn't measure or use my paper trimmer to cut my strips, because I feel like it's either one or the other, right? It looks more purposeful if you do it this way. So that's it. That's my layout. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember to check out all the links down below. Crystal's and mine will be there. And until next time, happy scrapping. Bye.